Just as a quick little recap for the people who don't know, Veronica currently has been arrested, but is currently out. Okay, but she was arrested for domestic violence for misdemeanor. Meanwhile, her fiance Seth was arrested for assault on female. Now, since this information has come out, people have had their opinions. But for the people who don't remember, Jamal, who is the son of Kimberly, was once upon a time on the single life with Veronica because at the time they were dating. And some people wasn't a fan of how Jamal behaved at the time. Because he wasn't a fan of it, some people did call him out for the current BS that was going on at the time. So since all of this has come out, Jamal has decided to pretty much open his mouth and get a bit cocky with it. You know, a bit leery with it. A bit too confident with it, where he's now saying everybody owes him an apology. Hinting to the fact that when he was with Veronica, well, she obviously seemed to have had some form of a very aggressive side towards her. Whether that would have been verbally or physically, he's saying, well, he's not saying it, but he's implying it, he's hinting at it, saying, now you all know what she's really like. But you know what the maddest thing about it is, folks? Every single opinion everybody had on Jamal and Veronica's relationship at the time was based on everything that we saw on the show. Now, I don't recall at any point Jamal ever coming out and saying, guys, what you saw on the show was BS, or what you saw on the show was a part of the truth, but what they really didn't show you was actually this part of Veronica. This is the thing that made me ghost her. So if you're not going to tell us the truth of what actually happened between you two, then of course people are going to have their own opinion on the relationship. So therefore, nobody can ever owe you an apology if we was going on information that we was given. But with that being said though, Usman decided to get involved. Now, this is the post here that was made, okay, by 90 Day Fiance Update. And as you can see at the side, it does say Jamal has broken his silence about Veronica's arrest. If you remember, they dated briefly and Jamal got dragged by 90 Day fans for their breakup. Jamal commented on Veronica's arrest post, remember when everyone hated on me for ghosting her, but no one knew the real reasons why? Ladies and gentlemen, nobody knew the real reasons why for a reason. Because you never told us the real reasons. So people were always going to be entitled to have their opinions on the reasons that we had. If there was actual other real reasons, you should have just said them at the time. But of course, I get it. NDA stops them from speaking and saying how things really went down. But here's the thing, if you're going to follow the NDA and never speak up, that is fine. But therefore, it doesn't mean you have to now pipe up now. Okay, I mean, the question is, has his NDA broke now? If his NDA is now over and he now wants to tell us the real reasons, please tell us. So therefore, people's opinions can change. Rather than coming out and saying that everybody owes you an apology, but you're not telling us why we owe an apology. Like, you can't say it's because we said X, Y, Z, but you're still not going to tell us the real reasons. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, with that being said, Usman decided to get involved. Usman decided to get involved, and this is what Usman had to say. He said, he's not any better. Someone I work hard to convince his mum to bring him on the show. After we brought him on the show, he came to Nigeria and we had a great time with no argument. But here's the thing. So Usman is basically saying right here that Jamal had to basically convince Usman and his mum to be able to be on the show. That's what I'm getting out of that. Please correct me if I'm wrong. He also continues by saying, but immediately he went back to the US, sat in the room and told the whole world I was playing his mum. Now I'm assuming he's referencing to the tell-all of that season that Jamal first appeared on 90 Day Fiance. Continues by saying, if I was playing your mum, why did she stay? And to be fair, that's a very, very good question. But I'm going to say this to you folks. When we first saw Usman come on the show and he was in a relationship with baby girl Lisa, it was the easiest day to say that this man was definitely using this woman to be on television, maybe even using her to be in America, all right? But when he came back on 90 Day Fiance with Kimberly, to be honest with you, even if he was using that woman, we can all say that he didn't even have to manipulate her because we all saw how thirsty, how hungry she was for him, okay? So really and truly, if Kimberly was being used, Usman didn't even have to really do too much because we all saw her behavior. Let's just put that into perspective, right? Now, Usman continues by saying, I'm not a saint, but that dude is dangerous. And he can do anything to be on that TV, unfortunately. He didn't get any main character yet. After all the Veronica might be wrong for whatever she did, but that one should shut his mouth. So this is obviously what Usman's had to say. He's saying that Jamal should shut his mouth regardless of what Veronica's gone through. I mean, listen, the relationship he had with Veronica was, what, 2, 3, 4 years ago? I can't remember, but it was obviously some years back, okay? It's over and done with. And since that relationship has been over, Jamal has never ever come out to tell us anything else regarding the truth. And Veronica's never said anything about him as well regarding the truth, which means technically speaking, they would have both moved on from each other. So it is rather strange and weird that Jamal is now starting to talk about Veronica because, bro, like, haven't you not moved on? What she's doing now in her relationship is what she's doing now. Leave her to it, okay? But of course, Jamal had something to say, and trust me when I tell you, folks. Why does this? Yeah. He had something to say, and trust me when I tell you, folks, him and Usman then decided to go back and forth quite a bit. So Jamal comes in and says, Usman, you cheated on my mum for the majority of the relationship. You're a clown who tried to take advantage of her. You cannot take advantage of a woman that is literally saying, please be with me. Hell, listen, it's crazy because honestly, we all saw this. I even made a video about this, folks, okay? We saw how she refused to leave Usman. Usman tried to get rid of Kimberly several times based on what we saw on the show. And she would not take no for an answer. This man said, we're not going to stay in the same room. I'm going to stay in my room. You're going to stay in your room. Kimberly was not having none of that. At first, she played like, okay. And then after that, the next day, she was begging him, stay in my room, stay in my room. Then he finally stays in the room, but then he puts pillows in the middle to build a bridge. And then even that, she was upset about that too. Why is there a bridge? Why can't you give me a cuddle? Why can't you even give me a kiss? This man was literally throwing roadblocks in the way. So much to the last season that we saw these two people. He even sat there and said to Kimberly, he insulted the way she walked from what I remember. Told her she needed to get a tummy tuck from what I remember. This guy literally like tore her the hell down. But guess what, folks? Kimberly still stayed. Still stayed. But it's okay though. Jamal wants to tell us that Usman took advantage of his mum. I don't think you can take advantage of somebody that's allowing themselves to be taken advantage of in that capacity. If anything, your mum was trying to take advantage of Usman. It was a weird relationship, wasn't it? It was a relationship based on one guy being seen as the scammer and the other woman and the other person being seen as a desperate woman. The whole thing was just a mess. But anyway, Jamal continues here by saying, I treated you with respect in Nigeria because my mum asked me to. But I never respected you. You're a joke, bro. And I honestly wish you could come to the US, but I know the real truth on why that will never happen, Usman. You see, this is the issue that I'm having here. Why does he keep talking about the real truth, the real reasons? There is no point at coming out and saying, if you guys only knew the real reasons between me and Veronica, well, tell us the real reasons. Otherwise, people's opinions aren't going to change because you're not telling us the real reasons. And then now you're telling us, oh, now you know the real reason why, or the real truth why Usman come to America. Well, don't say it and then not say it. Speak with your chest. This like giving us like 10% information is just boring. At least give us like about 60% or something. You know what I mean? Something that we can then actually start to be like, okay, I see it now. Because if you give us something, we can then start to really piece together. Then people's opinions may change. But hey. I tell you now, folks, if any one of you want to go on a goose chase, by all means necessary, go on a goose chase and then let me know, because I know I won't. Now, with that being said, Usman comes in and responds by saying, you can't respect me because you don't know what respect is. You don't even respect your mum, not talk about me. That is crazy. So he's saying Jamal doesn't respect his mum. Let me read that again just to clarify that. You can't respect me because you don't know what respect is. You don't even respect your mum, not to talk about me. Damn. Interesting. When talking about clown, you are no one. Okay, when talking about clown, you are no one. Because I can remember when your grandma passed away. Oh, damn. He's bringing up his grandma. Okay, this is going places now. When talking about clown, you are no one, because I remember when your grandma passed away, you flew from New York to LA to comfort your mum. But when you reached LA, what happened? You abandoned her, went straight to the club the same night. I was the one comforting her for good 8 days, and at last she flew. I was the one comforting her for good 8 days. At last, she has to fly or flew, whatever, from US to Nigeria and stay with my family to make her feel better. I'm the only one to calm her from the storm, I'd imagine. And this is why, till this day, we are cool with each other. Stop lying to people, because you ain't shit. You are the biggest clown I have ever seen. I made you and your mum to be the star you think you are. I personally brought her. Then I don't know what this is supposed to say. We brought you on the train. Wow. Okay, that is crazy business. Crazy business. The maddest thing about it, I just realized Kimberly's actually liked this post as well. No, obviously not based on the comments, but based on, yeah, basically advocating for her son's behavior and the situation of him commenting about Veronica. You would think you know what, I'll leave that alone. It is what it is. She just want to be on her son's side. But let's talk about that though. Let's talk about that. So this man literally didn't even cover his mum, flew to LA from New York, and all he wanted to do was to go to nightclubs. But maybe that was the day the 90-Day Bad Boys were formed. Yo, that's crazy business. You know what the crazy thing is though, when it comes to these conversations between Jamal and Usman? Jamal would just say the real truth, the real reasons, but tell us no backstory. Usman's out here giving us a whole freaking backstory. See, this is what I'm trying to say. If you're going to come forward and start talking, talk with your chest. Usman is not holding back. Well, I mean, he probably is holding back a little bit, but he's definitely giving us a little glimpse on Jamal. This is how you come forward. This is how you really approach something. But, there is more. You accuse me for being with mum or with your mum because she's older. And guess what happened? You end up chasing Veronica, who's 13 years older than you. Whew, boy, do better. Find a job. Stop wasting your time. You ain't shit. And you will never. I have been in the show 8 times, has a main cast, not cameo appearance. I'm not your mate. I'm not in your lane, mate. Yeah, okay. That's a fair point, though. That's a fair point. But to be fair, the age gap between what is the age gap between Usman and Kimberly? To be fair, damn. But to be fair, he's got a point. He's got a point. I mean, to be fair, despite the fact that he's a terrible rapper, let's not forget, rappers will know how to, counteract you. You know, in this world, when it comes to going one-on-one with people, the first type of person that you don't want to go up against is a blogger. A blogger or a comedian. I promise you now, folks. Never ever go one-on-one with a blogger or a comedian. I mean, to be fair, it depends on the blogger, to be fair. Some bloggers aren't that great. Do you know what I mean? It depends on the blogger, right? But comedians, don't go up against them, all right? And then bloggers, depend on the blogger. And the other people that you don't want to go one-on-one with is people who are rappers. Whether they are terrible, whether they are failed rapper or not, you don't want to go up against them, because obviously the thing that these people have in common is that they're quick to the mark. Quick to the mark. And to be fair, I'm going to add also annoying merchants. Yeah, I'm going to add annoying merchants into that list. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, okay, annoying merchant means / smart asses. Don't be doing that, folks. Trust me when I tell you, it's not going to end well for you. So point being is that in this situation here, I don't think Jamal realized who he was going up against. Despite Usman's rap career being terrible as hell, he's very quick and very ready to come back and guns blazing. I don't think Jamal's really up to this level. But let's see what Jamal had to say back though, because everything that was said here in this post, yeah, was thorough. He spoke about your grandma, spoke about you abandoning your mom when she needed you, and then so much that she had to buy a whole plane ticket to go back to Nigeria just to have comfort because you wouldn't be there for her because you was too busy in the club, probably making flipping cover songs for 90-Day Bad Boys or some dumb shit. Oh my days. And then also on top of that, also was talking about you complaining about the age gap between your mum and her, but yet you had the same thing. Oh boy, this guy did not hold back. Usman came in like nasty. But either way, Jamal says you've been on the show 8 times because you kept trying to scam women. Nice work though, if that's what you consider an accomplishment. Speaking of work, I have to get back to my job. Still rooting for you to get a Grammy with your terrible music. I mean, that's not really a good reply, is it now? Based on what Usman just said, Jamal didn't really say much. But to be fair with you folks, let's just talk about what he said there. Usman's been on the show 8 times. Do you know what the funny part about it? He's been on the show 8 times, but most of the times he's been on that show is being with his mother, Kimberly. That's the maddest part about it. You know what I mean? Like I said before, we can only really say that the first time he tried to scam was definitely baby girl Lisa. With Kimberly, that one was a bit of an iffy one. I mean, we can still call him trying to scam her, but at the same time, let's look at the way she behaved. You know what I mean? It didn't make anything better. And then the last time we saw him on the show, well, he wasn't scamming anyone. He was just recruited to be on Hunt for Love with, you know, Cole and Courtney, you know, and there wasn't really much going on there. So yeah, that part. But anyway, it is what it is. Either way, that response to me personally just isn't really doing too much. Obviously, he's responding by saying I've got a job, because obviously, you know, Usman said he doesn't have a job, but it is what it is. Then also, as you can see here, Usman responds and says, calling it scam is like accusing TLC because they can't be bringing scammer on the show for 8 seasons. Oh boy, this guy, he's cooking. Also, your mum knew what scam is. Why is she staying? Oh boy, that's a very good point. If Usman was a scammer, then why would your mom fly to Nigeria when she needs someone to comfort her at the time when she's mourning? Let that sink in. And bear in mind, she would have flown to Nigeria way after they had been on the show. So yeah, Jamal isn't really doing too much in this little argument, is he now? Now also on top of that, we continue by saying, both you and her didn't leave. I personally go away. So basically, I personally go away and leave you. Okay. So basically, he's saying here that it wasn't even Kimberly that left Usman, nor was it Jamal. Obviously, Jamal wouldn't, but obviously, Kimberly, Jamal come as a package. He's saying that I'm the one that had to leave your mum. So what are you talking about? Which I guess is a fair point. I don't scam no one. I rather helped you and her to be the public figures you are today. Change your game because this is not it. This is not work for sure. I mean, listen. To be fair, if Usman didn't enter Kimberly's life, he's got a point. You know what I mean? That would have been a dead end itself in particular. So listen, a whole lot of things definitely went down there between Jamal and Usman, and yeah, it was something else. The question is, folks, I would love to know your thoughts. Who do you think? Well, whose side are you on, I guess, for that matter? But at the same time, Jamal did leave another comment. Okay, this is obviously a separate comment away from his little dispute with Usman, where he says, remember when I was going crazy because no one believed me? When I called out Tim and Veronica for being the fakest people I ever met? I ain't gonna lie to you, I've always said that Tim is fake anyway, to be honest with you. So I guess Veronica's added to that list. But I know Tim has a lot of Tim crybabies as his supporters. But anyway, I don't care if people don't like me from what they see on television, but I've always kept it extremely authentic on and off camera, unlike Miss Mike Tyson. Why did you have to bring Mike Tyson into this, man? I'll leave the man alone. But, is this Jamal pretty much saying that he may have experienced some sort of physicality from Veronica when he was with her? Very interesting. Now, of course, he does say, remember when I was going crazy. Like I said before, we can remember that all we like, but you never told us why he was going crazy, really and truly, apart from that they're fake. But that's not really giving us much information. Do you see what I'm saying? You got to tell us like some real tea, you know. I mean, to be honest with you, I feel like if Jamal wants to come out again, never speak up against any other cast member or whatever, I feel like the best thing that he can really do is just tell us some real tea. Stop asking for apologies and stop saying this person did that or that person did that. Like tell us the tea. Like say something. But as you can see, for a man that's got a job, he's got a whole lot of time to be responding to a whole lot of people in this chat, as you can see, folks. I just wanted to show that part because I found that one quite interesting, to be fair. But with that being said, though, I definitely want to know your thoughts and your opinions on the matter itself in particular. So please do let me know. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.